We are going to learn about a spherical body falling in a fluid. The fluid is at rest and we will see what happens to this body. Also, we will learn about a very important rule or law called Stokes' law. When a spherical body is falling, then its speed is continuously going to increase. At an instant of time, you can say v is equal to at, or at a particular distance below the point from where it was released, you can say the velocity is equal to root 2 g h. But when the same body is made to fall in a fluid, then what happens? This fluid is going to resist its motion and is going to create a laminar flow around it, and it is also going to create a viscous drag, and we will calculate how much it is and what effect does it have on the falling body. Now, let us imagine a spherical body just being dropped in a fluid. As it goes down, it creates a viscous drag. Why? Because the layer in contact with the solid is going to move with the same speed as the object. So, in an instant of time, the velocity of the layer which is in contact with this solid spherical body is going to be equal. But at a distance equal to the radius of this spherical body, the velocity becomes 0, and therefore, you have a velocity gradient of v, the velocity of the falling body at an instant, and 0 at a distance of r. So, v upon r is going to be my velocity gradient. The relative motion between the different layers of the fluid is creating the viscous drag, and this viscous drag is going to slow down the body. So, first the body will gain speed and then it will acquire a steady speed. Sir George Stokes, an English scientist, proposed a mathematical relation between instantaneous velocity of a spherical sphere falling freely in a fluid at rest, which is v, let us say, and viscosity of the fluid in which the body is falling, say eta, and radius of the spherical body as r, and the viscous drag which is created in the fluid opposing the falling sphere, which is say given by f. So, he calculated or proposed a value for the viscous drag. We can find its value as per Stokes' law, and we can do two simple methods of derivation. One we are going to use is the method of dimension, in which case we will just see all the factors which are influencing the viscous drag and equate their dimensions. So, finding the relationship, we have f is proportional to eta raised to x, r raised to y, and v raised to z, where eta is the coefficient of viscosity, r is the radius of the spherical body, and v is the instantaneous value of velocity. Putting it in terms of dimensions, on the left hand side we have m l t minus 2 for force equal to some constant times m l minus 1 t minus 1 raised to x, m 0 l t 0 raised to y, and for velocity m 0 l t minus 1 raised to z. As we know, as per rules for dimensional method, we will equate on both sides, left and right side, the exponents, and that will give us the value of x, y and z. When you do the mathematical expression here, you get x equal to 1 minus x plus y plus z is equal to 1, minus x minus z is equal to minus 2, and when we calculate it all, we get the value for y equal to 1 and z is equal to 1 as well. So, we get the expression f is equal to k times neta r v. This value of k here was found to be 6 pi, because experimentally when this was done, the best suitable value was 6 pi. So, 6 pi is an empirical result, and the value for viscous drag is 6 pi neta r v. This is also termed as the Stokes formula. Another way of finding out the relation between viscous drag and instantaneous velocity is by using the first principles. Let us imagine our vessel, say a cylindrical column, in which a spherical body is being dropped. If we draw the lamina around it, the greatest speed is going to be for the layer which is closest to the spherical body, and at a distance equal to the radius of this spherical body, the velocity is 0. So, we have delta v to be equal to v and delta x to be equal to r, and the area of the sphere is 4 pi r square. From our formula that we have considered so far, f is equal to eta a delta v by delta x. So, f is equal to eta 4 pi r square v upon r, that spreads out to give you 4 pi eta r v. As we have discussed earlier, this value 4 pi did not quite work with the empirical results or experimental values. So, Stokes changed this value to f is equal to 6 pi eta r v. Now, we are going to see what is the effect of this viscous drag on a body which is falling in a fluid. We know that it is going to slow down. So, first the speed of the body will increase till such time as the value for drag force becomes sufficiently large, and then what happens? Consider the body in the fluid. There are three forces acting on it. One, its weight, which is on account of the gravitational force, and if this fluid was not there, the body would have fallen only on account of this force. Because it is in the fluid, there are two forces acting now. One which is the upthrust, which will be on account of the fluid which is displaced by this spherical body, and the second one is the recently learnt viscous drag force, which would also try and oppose its motion. And therefore, if we were to equate all these three, as the viscous drag increases, there will come a point where the velocity of the falling body, that is the instantaneous value of velocity of fallen body, makes the viscous drag such that the upward force is exactly equal to the downward force. What happens then? Then the net value of force on the body becomes 0, and so the body will now fall with a constant speed. This gives us a very interesting result. If we plot a graph between instantaneous value of velocity and time for which the body is falling in the fluid, we find that the velocity increases first till such time as the instantaneous value of velocity makes the viscous drag large enough to make the net force on the spherical body 0. Then the speed or the velocity of the body becomes constant. This is the result that is there, which we see for falling raindrops. They fall from a height, but the velocity becomes constant and we just do not feel the raindrops, and we feel it is very nice and fun to be out in the rain. So, today we have learned about Stokes' law. We have learned how the net force on any falling body can become 0 on account of the viscous drag, viscosity produced by the air, which is the fluid in this case, and the spherical body can be imagined as any metallic sphere or a liquid sphere, like in the case of a raindrop.